Do you remember Toyota Auris? If not, click the link here. Just a quick recap. When designing the new Auris, Toyota thought about the traditional combustion engines as well as about a hybrid drivetrain. I already drove the petrol hatchback and now it's time to drive a diesel touring sport. Touring sport in Toyota speak means an estate, a station wagon, and since we're talking about an estate version, let's look in the boot. 530 liters. This is 170 liters more than in the hatchback. How much is 530 liters? Well, I took all the suitcases I could find at home and you know, it seems like a lot, but in fact it's not that much. And why is that? Well, that's partially because some of the 530 liters is in two bigger and two smaller storage spaces under the main floor. So about 50 liters out of the 530 is gone.
How does it compare to the competition? Well, the estate version of Ford Focus offers 490 liters, Chevrolet Cruze 500, Hyundai i30 528, Volkswagen Golf variant 605, and Honda Civic Wagon Tourer 624 liters. And with the seats down, the numbers are as follows. I would also like some luggage arrangement system because when you're carrying just one suitcase, well, you see what happens.
If you're more into hybrids and diesels, then good news, because you don't sacrifice any of the luggage space, even with the hybrid, because the batteries are stored under this rear seat here. And since we're in the back, well, it's actually quite comfy here. There is a lot of legroom and headroom, and that's even with the optional panoramic sunroof. And you can sit 3 adults here, because the person in the middle has somewhere to put their feet. The floor is completely flat.
In the front, the dashboard is finished in soft touch materials and the vertical position makes it look somewhat like out of the GT86. The interior is practical with a lot of cubbies, shelves and cup holders.
I know I've driven the Auris before, but look at it this way. There are some cars that I have to learn from the beginning every time I get behind the wheel. Like, for example, Volvo. In a Toyota, I sit and I know where everything is instantly. Visibility over the shoulder is okay. There is a pretty big window between the C and D pillars, and the D pillar is not very thick, unlike the A pillar, which is quite thick, and I find it obstructs my vision every time I approach a junction. Besides the boot, is there anything else that makes the Auris TS different from a regular hatchback? Well, suspension in the estate is softer and the car rolls heavily in the bends, but it doesn't understeer. And even if it did, it's for carrying your family on long journeys, probably along some motorways. It's not for racing up and down mountain roads. And if you would like to see cars which are pretty good for racing up and down mountain roads, you can watch their reviews here, 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 and here. The engine. It's a 126 horsepower 2-liter diesel. It's good for a 0 to 100 time of 10.5 seconds, and Toyota promises it will do 4.4 liters per 100 kilometers in combined cycle, but I would add 2 liters to this result, and that's even with the stop and start system. But even so, this is better than the 7 liters which I got from a 1-liter EcoBoost engine in a Ford Focus. Honda Civic Wagon Tourer will make its market debut in the first quarter of 2013. What to choose until then? A Toyota Auris or maybe the slightly cheaper but equally spacious Hyundai i30 Wagon? Or perhaps the more expensive but better handling and much bigger inside Volkswagen Golf variant? If money was no object, I would probably choose the Golf. However, the price difference between the Toyota and Hyundai is so small, I'd probably stick with Toyota. Meanwhile, if you'd like to see more of my reviews, please click the link here and don't forget to subscribe to my channel by clicking the link here.